Hello and welcome to the Spoilercast! This week's episode... Well, first of all, my name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host Rebecca.
Hello.
This is the podcast where we talk about movies. We don't care about spoiling them. And this is a very special episode because we're releasing this early. You know, usually we release them on Saturdays. But if you are a Patreon subscriber over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene, you can listen to this, well, it's Wednesday today, so we're probably uploading it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because today we're talking about one of the more anticipated movies of the year. It's been hyped for over a decade, I suppose. I guess it was,
Yes.
And then people stopped caring. But then we saw the trailers, and people started caring again. Yes, today we're talking about Avatar, The Way of Water.
I always want to say The Way of the Water, but there's no extra the.
No, it's all water, not just the specific water they are in.
No, that's true.
So, this is the long-awaited sequel to Avatar, which we just discussed on Patreon, once again on Patreon, as a Patreon-exclusive episode, and we both like it. We agree. It's a good movie. It's just a bit much at times because it's very long, but it still does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, and even in the last 13 years, it has held up pretty well. And I gotta say that I like it more now than I did like 10 years ago when I saw it the last time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I don't know. But let's get into then the second one. The Way of Water. The plot is pretty simple. It's been 13 years. So Jake Sully and Neytiri has started their own little family. He is of course the Turok Maktu, the leader of their little clan. And life has moved on
since the fight in the end of the first movie.
Yeah, exactly. But a new threat looms on the horizon.
No, a familiar threat.
Yeah, a familiar threat looms on the horizon. The humans are just coming back. Jake has to, balance the whole thing about, protecting his clan, but also protecting his family.
Yeah. Being a leader and being a father, basically.
Yeah. Which is, that's basically it.
Yes.
For the story, or for the plot.
And
the story.
This is the spoiler cast, so we will have to talk about details that will spoil the movie, but we'll try to keep it spoiler-free in the first half or so, as per usual.
Yeah, usually. First 20-30 minutes or something.
So, let's start us off as we usually do. What did you think of the movie? As we watched it last night, this morning.
This morning, yeah.
Technically. We were on a midnight screening, so 1 minute past midnight. Well, no, technically.
Well, the movie didn't start until 28 minutes past midnight. Yeah, which was very frustrating since it's a movie that's 3 hours long. We were like, just start. They had this they had the whole pep talk, and then they were giving out prizes, and then they were fucking. It was like, can we just start the movie? I gotta work in the morning.
8 minutes past 12. That's when they start doing the intro and talking about throwing away your trash, and then doing a lottery, and we're like, get to the movie, dude. Yeah.
And
then there's 2 more trailers, but yes.
Yeah.
Midnight screenings are always special.
Yes. So what did I think of it? Like I said to you when we left the theater, or when we were walking towards the bus, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I managed to get some good thoughts down on my Letterboxd.
Oh, I haven't even done that yet.
But I will have to watch this again when I'm more awake, because there were moments towards the end when we were hitting the 4 a.m. mark where I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah, about 2 hours in, I went, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes for a bit now because nothing's really happening at the moment. I'll wake up if there's a loud noise.
Yeah, I had the same. Yeah, but no, I did like it, and I think I like this more than the original. Which was not what I saw people saying earlier when, some critics had watched it yesterday or something. But I really liked it. I thought it improved on every aspect of the original, except for the dialogue, because that's always been James Cameron's weakest.
Oh yeah.
Link in the chain.
We
He's
mentioned
not great at dialogue. He's pretty bad at dialogue, actually.
It's almost forgiven here because they're technically not humans speaking English. They're from another planet, and perhaps their way of speaking is different than what we perceive. But you can't really do that in a movie, though.
Most of the bad dialogue is from
the Na'vi.
No, from a returning character. I won't say
who.
who.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
They even have a repeat of a line which was kind of bad in the first movie, and it was so dumb in this one because everyone he was talking to were going back to the planet they had already been to.
Yeah, so it didn't make sense to do that line. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I have to say that I did like this movie for what it was at the time being. I had issues, but I think it's mainly because watching it at midnight was after working all day and knowing that I have to get up in the morning, I kind of wanted it to be shorter.
Yeah.
Upon a second screening, I'm probably going to appreciate it more. Because this has, like you said, it has all the good stuff from the original. And adding to some more interesting stuff, because we expand in this one. Not really adding anything bad, to be honest.
No.
I mean, there are a few characters that are kind of boring, I suppose, or annoying, but meh. And there's one detail that I'm really annoyed we didn't get any more info on, but we'll get to that.
This definitely had the whole, part 2 of a trilogy, or so to say.
Yes.
It definitely had that feeling with a lot of details. Like, we're going to talk about this in the 3rd movie. But
we'll
in this case, it might be even the 4th or 5th movie,
Yes, because if you look at James Cameron's IMDb, you have Avatar 3, 4, and 5 planned, apparently.
Yeah, it's already, prepared.
Yeah.
He's only waiting for the box office results from this, because he said, if this doesn't do well, they'll do the 3rd one, because they already started that one, but then he's just gonna not do 4 and 5, which is gonna be insane.
Honestly, I don't think I'd be mad if he just does 3 and stops there. As long as because number 3 has a perfect ending, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not gonna, because he's already planned 4 and 5. So if this doesn't succeed, and he ends it with the 3rd one, it's going to be a big anticlimax, I think.
Oh no, I hope not. So, I mean, he can rewrite it.
But this, but
Either way, that's for whenever those movies come out, I suppose.
And honestly, there's no way this movie's gonna flop.
No,
it might not be the same success as the first one, but it's going to make gangbusters at the box office.
Oh yes, if anything's gonna bring people back to the theater, it's this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Because even if you weren't anticipating it for the last 5 years, when you realize that this is the sequel, it's finally here, and you see the trailer, you're gonna go. Yeah, everyone wants to go back to Pandora.
Yes. And that's also something to mention, which I forgot to mention in my, or maybe I didn't. I forgot to mention in my Letterboxd review. This is such a throwback kind of movie.
Oh yeah.
It does not feel like a modern, a blockbuster.
No. And it's
there's also... there is obviously, there is the agenda he's pushing, his politics and shit like that. But it's not this new wave of finger wagging. It's the classic. First of all, it's a very old kind of propaganda, which we haven't seen in years. I mean, it's still a pressing issue, but people just don't talk about it much anymore. And that is Save the Whales, which was one of the original, back in the 70s, one of those big protest thing that Greenpeace did. They went out on their ships and tried to stop the whale fishermen. But this is old school Save the Whales kind of. That's the big environmental message they have.
Yeah.
Then it's of course just a general save the environment kind of message as well. But a lot of it is focused on saving the whales.
A good part is though that I didn't even realize that at first.
No, yeah, exactly.
Because it was just an adventure movie.
Yeah. which happen to include whales and whale hunters. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like that was like very on the nose, always pointing out that we have to save the fishes. No. That was just a side track almost.
And there was no, there wasn't the human character was like, yeah, us humans really suck, There was one character like that, but he didn't appear until like, I don't know, 2 hours into the movie, and he has like basically 5 scenes.
Yeah,
it's Jermaine Clement's character.
The marine biologist.
Yeah, it's like, why is he here, and why is it Jermaine Clement in the most unfunny role ever? It feels like he must have had a bigger role that was cut down, because I know there's a lot of shit that was cut out. Like this movie's probably like 4.5 hours in the unedited version. Because there's so much stuff that James Cameron talked about that was not in the movie. But other than that, there was no like, no finger wagging like, humans suck, or more, if you want to be really crass about modern propaganda, like it's white people, Western people suck. Like there's none of that in this.
No, because I guess this is a small spoiler, but there's barely any humans in this movie.
Yeah. They even work around that with the bad guys.
Yeah.
In a kind of silly, but no, it's just silly. I was gonna say, but it makes sense. I was like, no, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of silly. It's really silly. But yeah, what I also liked is the fact that they focus so much more on character stuff. Like, a lot of this movie is just character building, and especially building up Jake and Neytiri's children, which are obviously going to be, having
main
I think they're going to have the bigger roles in like 3, 4, and 5. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So we talked about that in our Avatar review. A little bit about what James Cameron had said in interviews about this, like how he was going to focus more on character, more on like
on the family or whatever.
Yeah, and we were like, I really hope he actually does that, and I think he delivered. Like a lot of this is just family dynamics.
It's
like figuring out, for the teenage kids, because the oldest kid is like, what is he, 13? Yeah, it must be 13. So the second youngest kid must be like 12 or 11 or something, and then they get younger and younger.
It's about the teenagers and kids growing up and finding their place in the world, especially in a world that's changing.
Exactly. And then, it is drastically changing at this point.
And then having Jake having to find like his role as a father and a leader.
Yeah.
Neytiri isn't that much finding herself, it's just accepting that things might change, I suppose.
Yeah, if there was one character that felt a little shortchanged here, it was Neytiri.
Yeah.
Because she had such a prominent role in the first one, but this one was very focused on Jake and the children.
Yes.
Even more the children, but Jake more than Neytiri, which... I don't know, it felt weird, because she was so important in the first movie. I kind of missed her in this.
She's supposed to be, I guess, like an anchor, but she's not really anchoring much.
No, because she's
like the voice. She's like the voice of tradition and keeping things as they were, but they kind of break away from that, and then she just has to sit in silence and like tell the kids to listen to their father.
Yeah, there were like story beats where. Because they have 2 children of their own, and then they have one adopted child, and then one human child, which is kind of like,
sort of adopted.
Yeah, he's a war orphan, basically. That's how they explain it. You've seen it in the trailers. It's the weird little monkey boy that runs along with him. You're like, who the hell is this guy?
It's like the only human.
Yeah. So
and then they have. They've
kind of just taken him into their fold, so to speak. But as I mentioned, Neytiri is kind of like not really accepting of him, because after all, he is one of the sky people.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's the standard thing, when there's always going to be one parent who is like, yeah, but you're actually part of the enemies, so I'm not really going to vibe with you. But then they have the youngest. who's their own, right?
Oh, right. Took. Yeah.
Took.
Must be like 5 or 6 years old.
Barely.
Yeah. And I thought that was gonna go further, the whole her not really accepting Spider, as he's called, that human child.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really go anywhere until the very end, where they still kind of don't do much with it. And when, like we said, I think that's something they're leaving out for the next movie.
Yes.
Which
I mean, there's a choice made by Spider that makes you think something's gonna happen, but then they just 180 and leave it almost.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if they actually do something with it, or if it's just it was just there to add, a little drama, a little spice in the beginning. I don't know. But
I feel like that's the only actor that I should recognize as well, which is weird.
Yeah.
Out of the kids, I mean.
Yeah.
But I might just confuse him with someone else.
I thought, I don't know, it was something about his voice, his eyes, and the fact that he had cornrows. Or dreads, dreads, he has dreads.
Yeah, dreads.
I for some reason kept, thinking that was Tekashi 6ix9ine for some reason. He kind of looked he had the same, posturing, yo, bro! That was also, speaking of bad dialogue, all the kids were like, cuz, bro, all the time.
Yes. Where did that come from?
Yeah. It kind of makes sense for the children from the water people, what were they called?
Netkaya? Yeah, something like that. I don't remember, something actually.
Because they're obviously...
they were inspired by, Hawaii or Samoan
people. Yeah, because they did the whole, the haka thing towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, but that only came towards the end, which was weird. They should have done that,
yeah, but they had
when
the tribal
they
tattoos.
Arrived. Sure.
And they, of course, lived by the sea.
Yeah, they're in tune with water.
Yeah, and, it's a more common slang there to say bro that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But those kids didn't really use it. It was...
No, that was the...
Weird. Oh no, what are they? They're, I don't remember what their tribe is called. Our original...
Omatikaya?
Yes, thank you.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember all the words. I know that the main priestess is the Sahik.
Yes.
And that's about it.
That's about it, yeah. Oh, and the Ikran is the flying...
Ikran is the flying
riding,
thing.
and Igran, or Igro, is the water thingy.
Yeah, it was something similar.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the big whales are the Tuluk. And the outcast, the murder Tuluk, was Nepaya something?
Yeah, something.
I don't know. Either way. Don't want to go into too much spoilers there.
No, that's just random words we're trying to remember.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's the only thing that is really confusing about this, is trying to remember what every single word means.
Yeah.
Because they're using them so casually, though. So sometimes you're like, wait, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I thought that made sense, because, you kind of, even if you didn't remember from the first movie, you kind of picked it up during the movie.
Yeah, I suppose. There was a lot of learning again, though, because it's a new place with new flora and fauna, basically.
Yeah.
Because we're not in the jungle anymore, obviously. We're in the waters.
Yeah. Which was another thing, of course they did very well in the first movie. The fact that Pandora really felt like a real place, like it made sense on a logical way. Like, how all the animals worked, and the fact that everything was, bioluminescent and all that. And they did that here as well. Like, the whole water area really felt real.
Yes.
With all the different animals and, the whales and how they lived by the sea and everything. Yeah, it totally made sense.
Yeah.
And
it was just as beautiful as the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. The artwork is phenomenal.
Yes.
And this is weird to say, I suppose, because this is literally 10 years later. But quality-wise, the CGI is as good as the original. Almost too good in this one. There were moments when I was like, that looks too real that it looks weird. Especially when people were crying. Their tears were too prominent. It bothered me. Because I don't think I realized that in the original. Or in the first movie. But perhaps it's because we're watching it in 3D on IMAX screen. So the tears were very much in our face.
Yeah. And the original is still not released.
Great.
Yes. And the original is still not released in 4K, which annoys me.
Yes, that's true.
I want to watch that in 4K.
I have to say, I flinched at the 3D a couple of times.
Oh, yeah?
Like fuzzies in the air or random like dirt floating in the water. I like flinched, thinking it would come at me.
That was one thing.
Nice job.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, the 3D was good.
Yes.
But
it's a little bit unnecessary.
I don't want to say that it's unnecessary, but I don't think it has as much of an impact as it had when you saw the first one, because that was really the first modern 3D movie.
Yes.
But then you kind of got tired of it because every movie after that for the next 5 years had to be in 3D, even if it made sense or not.
But every other movie would also throw in the one where things would be thrown at the audience just to have that, effect.
Yeah.
Pointed out.
But that's what I think 3D should be. No, they don't really do that. But that's what I think 3D should be. 3D should be in your face. Come on, that's why it's there,
But that's why I'm saying
leap out of the screen towards you.
That's why I'm saying that this one, the 3D is sort of unnecessary because it didn't utilize that, so you could watch it without the 3D and be fine.
Yeah.
It's just, you're more
but it adds a sense of depth.
Yes, you're more immersed and you feel, it's deeper. Extra good when you're in water, that everything feels like you were underwater almost.
Yeah, yes. One thing though, that I don't understand is the high frame rate stuff. I don't know exactly.
I'm not trained enough to pick up on that, to be honest. I didn't realize
you didn't notice when all of a sudden everything was super smooth and it almost felt like it was moving too fast?
No, I didn't.
What? Okay. To me, because the movie starts with, the classic flyby of the jungle, just like in the original, but instead of 24 frames, I think it's, I know that the Hobbit movies were 48 frames, which looked terrible. But I think this was even higher. I heard somewhere it was 120 frames, but I don't think it was that. I don't think that's a thing. But it was at least 48 frames. The super smooth. And I almost I said, I don't know if you heard it, but I said out loud several times in the first 10 minutes, oh no, no.
I heard it the first time. You're like, why is it in frames? I was like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's high frame rate, and it looks so bad. Because. And I don't understand. I don't understand the point of high frame rate.
There is actually a trivia here. James Cameron seriously considers shooting the entirety of the Avatar sequels in a higher frame rate by stating, in quotes, "The 3D shows you a window into reality. The higher frame rate takes the glass out of the window." So the industry standard is obviously 24 frames per second, and a higher frame would be 48, 60, or 120.
Yeah.
He later opted out of this route, stating in an interview that as groundbreaking as the format is for cinema, moviegoers have always been used to a specific way to view films, and altering that in any way would simply take the audience out of the experience. Instead, only certain scenes will utilize HFR technology.
Yeah.
So not all of it, but a lot of it, some of it is definitely
a lot of it is, yeah. And I gotta say, I do not think it makes it more immersive. I still think that technology makes it less immersive. It takes you out of the movie.
Yeah.
Because, especially a movie that is so CG heavy like this, I mean, the sequence when Loak, the second son?
Yeah, Loak.
When he was being chased by the shark thing, whatever it was.
Yeah, the big fish.
Yeah, that was, because there were some scenes that were first person there. That was straight up just a cutscene from a video game. I felt like I was watching a video game on screen. I was like, this does not look good. And the thing is, because of course, the human eye. I'm no expert on this, so let me just armchair this for a little while. But the human eye, the point of having high frame rate is to remove the jittery that you get in 24 frames, which is the regular film.
Yes.
To more get to where the human eye, what the human eye sees. But the thing is, the human eye does not see the world in frames per second. That's not how the eye works.
No.
It's
we don't
different.
see images. We see just it's IRL.
We see what the world is.
There's no way
exactly.
to explain it better.
Exactly. Yeah. And a higher frame rate does not just make. I mean, all it does is make it look smoother. Because they don't use proper motion blurring then. There was never any. That's what takes you out of it, because even when the stuff is moving so fast, there's no motion blur. And that is something that the eye has. It has motion blur. Like if you move your hand in front of your face, it will blur. That's
course.
why you can look through your fingers when you're moving them like this.
Yeah.
So if that is something that they have to work on, like motion blurring needs to be a thing in high frame rates.
Yes.
I get why they don't use that in video games, because, you want to be able to see what you're doing when you're playing a video game. But in a movie, if you want to capture reality, you need motion blurring. So just upping the frame rate is not going to do it. That's why we've done 24 frames for so long, because that is the closest approximation to what the eye can perceive. It makes the most sense. That's why we've stuck to it for over 100 years when making movies.
Yeah, exactly.
So and even if they figure out the frame or the
motion blur,
yeah, I don't really see the benefit of a higher frame rate. Like, what is the point? It's just more frames. I know. Peter Jackson, once again talking about the Hobbit movies, he mentioned that a higher frame rate meant that you could film it, make the movie brighter. Which is good because you're using dim glasses when you're watching it in 3D.
Yeah.
But then, we've kind of given up on 3D technology when it comes to movies. Other than special movies like this, we don't really have 3D movies anymore. They don't make 3D TVs anymore.
No.
They don't sell 3D Blu-rays anymore.
No.
Which anger me to this day. I hate that they never released Jackass 3D in 3D on Blu-ray. Because that is a great 3D movie. Anyway. So, if there's something I hate about this movie, it's the high frame rate stuff. It looks fucking terrible.
Yeah, see, most moviegoers are probably not going to realize that. I didn't realize that. I mean, I have a common thing of realizing that shit, this movie's too smooth, too clear, I can't focus on what's happening because everything's just perfect.
Yeah.
But I was always dismissing that as my eyesight being bad.
No, that's the movie having too many frames.
Yeah,
that's
probably
the problem.
Because back in the days before I had my glasses, I didn't think that. But now when I have glasses, which has evolved along with cinema,
yeah,
I've started realizing that. So I was always like, yeah, maybe it's my glasses. Maybe they're fucking it up. But no, I guess not.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through some of the trivia while you were talking about the technical stuff that I barely understand.
Yeah.
And apparently Took is 8 years old.
Oh, 8 years, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know if that makes any difference, to be honest. But also, they mentioned twice here the whole Kate Winslet holding the record of being underwater for 7 minutes or something.
7 minutes something, yeah. Which, once again, that sequence is nowhere in the movie. I'm guessing she just did it while they were rehearsing or something?
You see, I don't understand why they have to be underwater at all.
Well, because they shot on location for a lot of the stuff, from what I understand.
But they're in, mocap suits.
Yeah?
Oh, it's because they still need to do the fluid motions with their bodies. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're gonna fake swim, that's gonna be really hard if you're on wires.
Especially the way some
even
of the
ultra trained dancers couldn't really do that. You kind of need to shoot some of that stuff in water.
Yeah, that's true. Especially how the water people moved. They were very wavy.
Yes, that was kind of funny. There were so many scenes, and I heard someone else mentioning this when we were walking out. Because early on, they introduce we don't really get to know a lot of the water people. We get to know like the tribe chieftain and his family.
Yeah.
And Loak, the second son of Jake Sully's, his youngest son, he kind of, gets
Takes
a little
a fancy.
infatuated. Yeah, to the chieftain's daughter. And a lot of the scenes...
Sirea, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. A lot of the scenes where they're teaching the kids to swim, because the water people have like... That was kind of cool also, like a good detail that they're more designed for swimming. They had these wide forearms, their tails were wider, they had huge hands so they could swim better. Just not like eye for detail, which makes this more of a sci-fi movie than a fantasy. We talked about that in the original episode as well. But yeah, a lot of those scenes were always, set with Sirea. What's her name?
Yeah, it's Sirea. I don't know how you pronounce it.
With her focused in the center and showing, because they like wiggle their butts when they swim.
Oh yeah, the hips.
Because the tail does some of the wiggling, but there's a lot of hip wiggling as well, and a lot of that was just Sirea.
Yes, especially her. It was very much Shakira hips don't lie.
Yeah. And like, I can see a young man falling in love with that.
Yeah. She was also, I don't know, because the other Navis, like Neytiri and Kiri, they're very straight. But I suppose that's the jungle version. They're very straight-bodied.
Yeah.
The water people are very curvy.
Yes.
Yeah, specifically.
Of course, that's how they use their bodies.
Specifically, Tsireya. The mother, Ronal, I think.
Yeah, that's
Kate Winslet. She wasn't as curvy, but she wasn't in water as much, so. And she was pregnant for half of the movie.
But she was pregnant, yeah. I thought that was going to be like a big sequence, but I think I mixed that up. Excuse me. Mixed that up with a scene from the Black Panther trailer where I think they have like a water birth in that movie.
Oh, there's blue water people in that one too. So
yeah. So I
mean, we also get to see in the trailer. I think we get to see a clip from the beginning when they like mention how many children they have, and we get to see is it Tuk or Natam's birth, basically, when they're like presenting it to the Soul Tree.
Oh, that's Natayam, the oldest son.
Yeah,
Natayam.
I think we see that in the trailer, as well as seeing Ronal being pregnant standing in water. So perhaps we're just mixing it up a bit.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
Because it's, if you only see a second of it, they're just blue people. It's difficult to realize who's who sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I
think I like the movie. I do need to watch it again. I do need to watch it in the comfort of my own home, or at least not at midnight after a long day of work, knowing that I'm gonna be home at 5 a.m. when I usually get up for work. So
yeah,
I literally walked in the door as my boyfriend more or less walked out of the door to go to work.
Yeah, I came home at 5:30. Luckily, I didn't start work until 11, but they still only gave me like 4 hours to sleep.
Yeah,
not
I had to
the
best.
Work until 8. It's now 9:49 p.m. as we're recording this, and I just want to go to sleep.
Yes,
but anyway,
but I think this is gonna be like, this is where we end the spoiler-free bit, because I need to talk about details here.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up, and I was gonna say, like I said, I really enjoyed this.
Yes.
But I still only gave it like a 4 out of 5 or an 8 out of 10 because some of the clunky dialogue, and some of the high frame rate stuff, and I think, I don't know, but it has a bit of that intangible something that holds it back from being a real masterpiece. I don't know exactly what it is.
I think it has to do with some things being a bit repetitive, not just in this movie, but also from the first movie.
Sure, that might be it. So how about we get into spoilers? We can talk about it.
Yes.
So from here on out, spoilers for Avatar with the Way of Water. You have been warned. Spoilers. 3, 2, 1,
go.
Here we go.
The first thing that really bothered me is that the scene where Loak is chased by the water shark thingy is an exact copy of when Jake Sully is chased by the Black Panther-looking thing in the first movie.
Yes.
It's literally the same.
I didn't even think of that, but now
animation.
Exactly the same, yeah. And he's like hiding behind some roots, but here was behind some coral reefs.
The only difference is the losing air.
Yeah.
Which, I have to say, nice detail that they obviously can't hold their breath for as long, even though they train, they can't really do as long as the other ones.
Yeah.
And almost drowning a couple of times. It's a good detail. It makes them, well, I was about to say human, but realistic, I suppose. Yeah. Because they're not humans. They're Na'vi.
Yeah, it makes them, it's what makes them so Na'vi.
Yeah.
That's how real these characters are, you know?
Yeah. That really bothered me, because it was, movement exactly the same. They stole the CGI and just gave it a new face.
Yeah. And then,
they stole from themselves, so it's fine.
Yeah. The fact that the main bad guy in this is Quaritch again.
Yeah.
He died in the last one, but they saved his consciousness and put it in an avatar? It's like, oh no.
And I hated that they gave their avatars tattoos and shit.
Yeah, to make them look more like their real,
their real selves. It's like, but come on. How do we even know that ink works on Navi skin like that? Even Avatar skin. It's just dumb to spend time and money tattooing an avatar.
It was one of those silly details. It was like, come on.
It's enough that they're wearing camo. We know it's them, and they have buzz cuts. Cool. We know it's the army dudes. Fucking shades. So dumb. Who needs shades when you're a Na'vi or an avatar
it looks
on
so
Pandora?
Dumb. When that guy had he had pit vipers on when they were in the helicopters, or the train. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked so dumb. And also, another detail, which was partly good, because the first movie spends, like we said, it spends half the movie actually getting to the point where the humans are really starting to invade the Na'vi territory.
Yes.
Like we talked about, it's literally the halfway point of the movie where the bulldozers come in and start mowing down the forest.
Yeah.
In this movie, that's the first 10 minutes.
Barely.
We have Jake talking, doing voiceover again,
which is a little bit annoying, to be honest. I don't like the voiceover.
Yeah, I didn't like the voiceover in the first one, and here it really doesn't make sense because it's not doing a video log.
Exactly. So. In the first one, at least he's doing the video logs. In this one, who's he talking to?
But at least there's less of it here, though.
Sure.
So, but he's like, oh, our family has grown, and we're being really happy, and blah, 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 setting up all the characters, and then... But then, and he looks up in the sky and he sees a new star that can only mean one thing: ships.
Sky people.
Ships slowing down for entry, and then it's not just a few bulldozers mowing down some forest. No, these are giant ships with miles long, jet streams of fire. That are slowing them down for descent. And just burning what looks like the entire planet.
It looks like they're incinerating half of Pandora.
and hundreds of square miles of forest for each ship. And there's 50 ships that land. How's any forest left after this?
I think the problem is, in the first movie, we don't see a lot of Pandora. We only see the little forest or jungle surrounding Home Tree.
Yes.
And the Tree of Souls. In this one, we see 4 home trees in the distance. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Pandora is 20 times bigger than what we expected it to be.
Yeah, but it really felt like they were really hammering home these are the bad guys.
They're burning everything. It felt like they were
literally burning down the entire planet,
basically,
and then just stepping out and just ha ha ha, we're the bad guys, basically. And there's like we talked about in the first week, there's zero nuance here. There's no nuance.
They're just bad to be bad.
Who's bad guys and good guys, yeah.
However, why did they have to change why they were there? In the first movie, they're just talking about the unobtainium, right? Or rarium, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Unobtainium, yeah.
Unobtainium. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, no, Earth is dying, we need a new planet, Pandora is close enough, even though we can't breathe here, we'll go for it.
What, is that what they said?
Yeah. The Colonel, General, whatever her name was, she's like, well, I'm here to build a colony because Earth is dying. Okay, they just gloss over that.
Because I kind of missed that. I recognize it when you say it, but I kind of missed that detail.
Yeah, but they seriously gloss over that. She just mentions it. It's like one sentence, and then we're done. Then all the bad guys are doing is chasing Jake because he wants revenge. Quaritch wants revenge. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is like, but wait, hold up. You just glossed over the fact that Earth is dying and you're planning on moving all of the human population to Pandora where you can't breathe.
Did they actually say that?
Well, yeah, they're putting up the first colony, which is why they have the little worker robots who can build a building in like an hour. Or
6
whatever
days.
she said. 6 days. The little spider thingies.
That's also kind of funny. They built, because we see the human base in the first movie.
Yeah.
And it's big, it's big. But this one looks like it's 10 times bigger.
It's
only taken
city.
them 1 year to build it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They literally it's like 1 year later.
We did in a year what took you guys 30. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They've
built railways all across the planet. They've built like a small city.
I thought they were there to get the whale oil. Because that's what they mentioned later in the movie when they start hunting the whales. The whales.
They kind of change what the reasoning is. Because the whale stuff is expensive as shit. And they wanted to, what was it? It more or less makes a human immortal.
Yeah, he says it literally stops aging.
Yeah,
this
right,
vial, he holds it up. It's like, this vial is worth about $80 million. It's what funds everything on Pandora right now, including your research doc. It was like, so what about unobtainium?
Yeah. What happened with that?
You destroying Home Tree was like pointless? That's
what,
not good.
What did they do with all the unobtainium? Did they get it? Did they like realize it wasn't that good? Or like what? What happened with that?
That the whale oil was more profitable?
Didn't they understand that they were whales? Didn't they like check the planet before they decided to start tearing down trees?
Yeah, because the way she says it, by the way, Edie Falco playing like the general, so cool. Edie Falco is so cool. I was happy to see her.
I didn't recognize her.
Nah, she's mostly famous from The Sopranos. She plays the wife.
Right.
Carmela. Very good, very good. Anyway, like she mentions, they've had like knowledge of Pandora for 30 years, which means that when the first movie takes place, they've been there for almost 20 years already.
Yes.
And they didn't know about the whales back then?
They didn't know about the water stuff at all, or what?
Yeah,
like
they just knew about that.
How did they even figure out that there was unobtainium there? If they did they just land on one random spot and went, well, this is where we're gonna find whatever we find, and this is what we're doing now.
And that's
for 20 years.
That's where details, start to fall. The movie starts to fall apart a little bit. Details, but that's also because that's not really what the movie's about.
No, I know.
Getting the unobtainium, getting the whale oil. No, it's about the first movie is about the environment, how we strip mine the world and ruin hundreds of acres of rainforest just to get our precious minerals to build. Build our fucking circuit boards and shit.
Yeah, technology.
Yeah. And in this one, they went even more old school. We kill hundreds of whales just to extract, a few gallons of oil, which, whale oil back in, the 1800s was super profitable because you could burn it instead of,
Oh, right.
It was before they had electricity, they went, between candles and electricity, they had whale oil.
Yeah.
Which powered, quote unquote, every street light, every lamp in the Western world.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of a throwback to that. Because it was also after they extract the oil, Spider's what? So you're just gonna leave the whale now? You're not gonna use the rest of the body? And he's like, ha, why would we? It's what do you mean? Why wouldn't you? Eat the whale?
Yeah, that's probably lots of good flesh on that one.
Yeah, that's right. I guess. I don't know if I'm naive or maybe I'm just naturally more environmental because it makes zero sense to just leave the body there.
No, there are. I've seen enough documentaries to like know what their reasoning is, and it costs too much to extract everything and process everything. Because there's a whole. They must be able to make a
profit.
No,
out of all that meat.
I mean, in this case, I don't fucking know, but like in general, no, they can't. Like, and it's like with dolphins and sharks when they only want the fins because you can't really do anything.
Fins, yeah.
You can't sell shark meat. No one's gonna eat that, first of all.
No, but they'll eat shark fins.
Yeah.
Or they cook them now for soup, I suppose.
No, well they do. I've accidentally eaten shark fin dumpling once. Didn't realize that was what it was until
I've actually had shark meat.
I don't know, but that's what their reasoning is. It's usually it takes too much time and effort and money to process all of it, and they're like, why when we can just leave it in the ocean to rot?
Yeah, and that's
I get it, but it's dumb.
No, I don't get it. Like, it's so wasteful. It makes no sense. There must be a way to make a profit. If you're looking at it from a straight capitalistic point of view, it is so much potential wasted, I think. To just leave something you can sell to rot. Like, come on.
I mean, but hopefully someone else will eat it, like another fish or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean that's factory farming,
Yeah.
In general, like they dump. I don't know exactly why. I don't remember exactly why, but to this day, they still dump millions of gallons of milk because it's cheaper to just dump it than to actually sell it.
Yeah.
Which I do not.
It doesn't compute.
I can't wrap my head around that.
No.
And then give it away to starving children or something,
Yeah, sure, you need to bag it, but that's about it. Bag it and send it somewhere else.
Yeah. Or like hundreds of thousands of tons of grain every year is like just left to rot because they don't need that much. Why the fuck are you growing that much? It makes no sense. So, the environmental message here is definitely one that I agree with.
Yes, however, I feel like they lose the plot of it because they have like 4 different bad guy plots. You have colonizing Pandora for humans.
Yeah.
Then you have obviously the revenge story for Quaritch. You have the whale hunting. Like, where are you going with this? Choose one. Or 2.
They kind of tie into each other.
Sure, but
because
it's like...
Quaritch is not just there for revenge. They're there to stop Jake, because without Jake, the whatever they're called, I forget.
Yeah.
His clan, and really every clan, they're kind of like, they're leaderless. They don't have the Turok Makto anymore. They won't be as proficient, because they're waging like guerrilla warfare against the humans, and they're winning, is what we see in the beginning.
Yes. I mean, they're just protecting their home, though.
Yeah, that's what guerrilla warfare is, yeah.
Right, sorry.
So I get why they want to kill him, and then to send the one guy who really wants to kill him for personal reasons makes sense.
Sure.
So I'm okay with that. But yeah, when they introduce the whale stuff, it's like, but we already had the other stuff.
Yeah, and but that doesn't also come into play until like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, but I think that is to make it a more immediate threat to the actual,
of course,
sea part of the movie.
Yeah,
and like I said, that really, even though I'm all for saving the environment and everything, but saving the animals, that hits way harder.
Way harder, yeah.
like I said,
plants are easier to regrow than lives.
Yes, but not even like saying it like that. It just hits harder because it's they're so much closer to us than plants.
Well, yeah.
It's a biological thing. You're killing those things, and especially after they explain that these whales, the Tuluk, they're like intelligent, and not just like intelligent like fish are.
No. They communicate.
They have language. They have music. They even mentioned that they have math. Like they have like politics. They're an entire. They're an an intelligent society.
Yeah, and they're connected to the Navi, the water Navi.
Yeah.
Because they can literally communicate with each other. They call themselves soul sisters and soul brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they emotionally connect to one whale each, and that is their, like, spirit animal almost.
Yeah.
They tell each other stories. I loved the bit where Ronal explained that like her spirit whale, and she called it something, I don't remember the name of it, had worked so hard to finally have her own child, and everyone in the tribe were so happy for her, and then
they kill her.
Of course they kill her.
And the whale cub just dies next to his mother.
Yeah, because he won't abandon her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yes. But I gotta say, the first movie didn't make me cry. This movie made me cry. Not because of the whales, though. When, big spoiler, when the Taim dies.
Yeah.
At that point, because you didn't, and that's kind of why a 3-hour movie worked here. Because you didn't really notice it, but you started caring about the characters.
Oh yeah.
But it was like slowly, gradually happening. So I was like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I I care about these characters, but it's not like these deep, soulful characters. But when they Tyrion started crying over the Taim,
even that's the thing, though.
I just broke. I just started weeping.
Zoe Saldana's fucking cry
So
as
good,
Neytiri
yes.
it's heartbreaking. It's so deep. I said it in the other episode as well. It hits home. I think, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I think it's like I connected to like how I cried when I heard that our grandpa died, because that's basically how I sounded. It's so deep and it's so real.
Yeah, and
oh
it's
my
even
God,
more like
acting.
desperate here because it's her own like this child that came from her own body. Yeah,
her
it's even deeper than her
firstborn.
father dying. Yeah,
Oh
that was it was heartbreaking, and I was really surprised by how emotional I got, because I didn't realize that I connected so much to the characters. So it's like, oh no, he died. He can't die now. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
So that, in that way, like, sure, I don't know how to say this a good way. A more skilled director could probably do that in less than 3 hours.
Yes.
But since we actually got there after 3 hours, I think it was worth the time,
Yes, definitely.
Because that's another thing. Yes, of course, we were kind of tired towards the end, but I don't think it felt too long.
No, there
Some
was
sequences,
this.
yes.
Yes, there were this point. I think it was right about the 2 hour mark. It started getting like, okay, they're just swimming now.
Yes, there's a lot of that.
Can something happen? Where's the action? Where's the story going here?
Yeah,
but then, I mean, like 20 minutes later, we had story again, so...
Yes, and a lot of those scenes where they're just swimming around is kind of character building.
Sure.
But they're like, there's like literally like 15 minutes with Loak just swimming around with his Tuluk, who becomes the outcast.
Yeah. Sure, they're talking about stuff and they're connecting and he's learning stuff.
And he's connecting to the one whale who is kind of in the same situation as he is, the outcast of the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Problem is, like, we got that after 5 minutes. We didn't really need... Like, it's amazing to watch, because it's like a nature documentary. To watch all the whales do cartwheels with their soul brothers and sisters and stuff. But, honestly, like, kill your darlings.
A little bit, yes.
That's how it felt then. Maybe watching it, like I said, when we're not tired, it might not feel that way. But at 3:30 in the morning, it was like... Please cut down your goddamn movie.
However, by the last 30 minutes of the movie, I was wide awake again.
Oh yeah.
As soon as the ship started sinking, I was like, "Holy shit, we need to focus."
Yeah,
because a lot of things happened there.
Yeah, because the ending is the classic 35-minute action sequence.
Yes,
but it never felt bloated.
No,
there was constantly things happening. There was like these beats. And it wasn't just aimless shooting and punching. They were like, there were like little missions that they were doing.
Yeah,
all
strategic
the time.
Fighting, basically.
And things happening. Yeah, it was a dynamic scene. It wasn't like you got to shit on Marvel, of course. It wasn't like in the end of Infinity War where there's just people running into each other for 40 minutes.
No,
stuff happened here.
This movie has one thing that it works for it while it shouldn't, to be honest, because it has a large main cast.
Oh yes,
you have about 6 or 7 people who are like the main people here. And at points, in those dull moments when everyone needs to take place and learn how to swim and breathe underwater, and you're watching everyone evolve in their own way, because you have, like, you cut to Loak and Neteam struggling, holding their breath, and then you cut to Kiri holding her breath perfectly.
Yeah,
like,
which is something I
like
think they're
she's born in water.
Yeah.
That's the detail I wanted them to talk about more. Her being so good in water, her having this... Like, she can feel... Enya? No.
Ewa.
Ewa.
Enya.
And the seizures she had. And then Max and Norm being like, yeah, that's classic epilepsy. But how could she have epilepsy? She is... I mean, they discussed it a little bit, like, who's her father? They don't know that. Well, I'm assuming she's an immaculate conception.
Yes. I think
from Ewa and... Dr. Grace.
Yeah, that's one of the details which I found a little creepy. Yeah, because, of course, in the end, or towards the end of the first movie, Grace Augustine,
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver's character gets shot, and they try to connect her to Ewa to move her consciousness into her avatar to save her.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work, of course. She becomes one with the tree, of course, with the All-Mother. But they saved her avatar for some reason, we find out.
Yeah, they incubate her.
Yeah, and sometime during the first movie, I suppose, because the first movie takes place over like 130 days or something.
Yeah.
She gets pregnant. Her avatar gets pregnant.
Yeah.
Or did Grace get pregnant? I don't know. But her avatar gives birth to a half-breed Navi/Avatar. And... this avatar, who is like 10 or 12 years old when the movie starts, is played by Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Not just her voice, which was really weird to have this young Navi sound like old Sigourney Weaver, even though she tried to sound more like this.
Yeah, but it was still a very mature voice for a child.
Yeah. But she also did the mocap for Kiri. And there are some scenes in the beginning where I think Loak is kind of in love with Kiri before he sees the water lady.
Spider and
Spider,
Kiri
right? Spider. That's right.
They're definitely in love, both of them. I thought that Neteim or Loak would be like, I have to, like, they would be mated with Kiri because it's like it's perfect, I guess.
But she's also kind of like their adopted sisters.
Yeah, but she's adopted, so it's fine.
No, it's not. No. It's not fine to mate with your half-sister. No, it's not.
But she's not by blood, though. Either way.
It does not matter. It's still
like
weird.
In the first movie, Neytiri is like promised to the best warrior, whatever his name was.
Yeah. Aitukan,
yeah. I figured it would be something like that. Like, yeah, sure, we take her in, but she's gonna marry one of our sons.
No! That's
what I thought. But obviously it's not. It's not.
That's super weird.
However, you see quite quickly that Kiri and Spider have like a really close bond because they're both orphans. They're both kind of
they don't know
weird.
Who their fathers are.
Yeah. But then we still have her mother being there in that tank, which was also a weird scene when they walk into the lab and she just jumps up and saddles the tank.
Yeah. Just her face against it.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? That's odd. But that whole thing, I want to know more about Kiri, and it bothers me that they didn't explore it at least a little bit.
But they did explore it a little bit.
Yeah, but like
the fact that she has this deeper connection to Ewa.
Yeah, but they dismiss it as epilepsy. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
epilepsy.
But then at the same time, it's not just like... because they say that, you have visions and religious things, and that's a thing. That's why
I know.
A lot of, like, the olden days, oracles and stuff like that, they were just people with epilepsy or, like, people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Like the classic, the scene from 300 with the Oracle who tells them the future. That is just some poor young woman that they like drugged for her entire life. Keeping her high off of fumes and shit. But the thing is,
and basically
they talk about that like, her visions, that's just synapses misfiring in her brain. That's why she's having epilepsy. But then in the end, and we see that it's hinted at before that. It's not just in her brain. She literally can control
nature reacts to her differently.
Yeah, and she uses the fish to like guide the people out of the sinking ship.
Yeah.
So there is a deeper connection there.
But they're not voicing it. They're just showing a little bit of it.
Yes, because there's 3 more movies.
I know. I just wanted it in this one.
I know.
I wanted her to be like, no, I'm not. First of all, do they know if epilepsy exists within Na'vis? Like, is that a disease that has...
If you have a somewhat humanoid brain, you can have epilepsy. Because, like I said, it's just synapses misfiring.
Sure, okay, fine.
So, as long as, animals can have epilepsy attacks.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as it's vaguely humanoid, yes, that's how the brain works.
I guess.
That's why jellyfish can't have epilepsy. But monkeys can.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted her, redemption to be more vocal, that everyone else saw it, not just her, not just us. She is actually...
That's going to be
probably
a big thing,
a child of
4th movie or something, where she uses the powers of Ewa to save the entire planet or something. She becomes one with the planet,
Or she becomes the ultimate, what was the word for the... female leaders, the shamans.
The Sahik?
Yes, she becomes the ultimate Sahik.
Yeah, she becomes the physical embodiment of Awa. I think something like that's gonna happen. She's gonna become super. Because also something you didn't think of. She's the face on the poster. That's Kitty.
Wait,
because she has that. She has the very specific hair. She has the bangs.
Wait, it depends on which poster you're looking at, I think.
The one that's just a face. The first poster that came out. The kind
of... I have to find that poster, because I only know the one with Jake and Neytiri in a moon.
The stupid action poster. Yeah. No, if you look at the first one... that
one.
Was
it was like half
a
face, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. That's true.
That's Kiri. So she's going to become a much more important character later.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's what this movie is about a bit as well. It's a transition between having Jake and Neytiri being the main characters into having their children take over the main character role.
Yeah, of course. That's every second chapter in a pre-planned trilogy or a franchise like this. There's always going to be the movies that are kind of just transitional.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good enough job to make this not just feel like that. This was not just
we still get
treading water.
Yeah, we still get a lot of development within the character of Jake, obviously. And we get to know a lot of other characters that are probably going to have a prominent role in the sequels as still just side characters, but I don't know, it feels like they're adding into it. They're setting a pattern. In the next one, I hope we get introduced to another tribe.
I think they're going to keep expanding,
Yes, to
definitely
explore all the different kinds, because in the first one, Jake becomes part of the Umatakaya.
Yeah.
In this one, he is, in the end, part of the whatever they're called, the water people.
Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Too many Navi words.
Too many words. Yeah.
So he's literally just collecting tribal badges, basically.
Yeah, and and they kind of hinted that in the first movie, where he kind of gathers the tribes together to fight off the humans in the first one, and I think they're gonna kind of redo that, but on a giant scale in the end.
Oh yes,
he's gonna be this old grizzled warrior who he of course they're gonna bring back Turok Makto. He's gonna fly the last shadow again. And that's going to be the final battle. It's the last shadow, the rider of the last shadow, together with Kiri, who is now the embodiment of Awa. and you're gonna have fucking Loak leading the rogue army. There's gonna be they're building a huge thing here, I think.
Yes, and
as long as they're building it slowly and methodically like they did in this one, and keep making each movie also interesting enough on its own, I'm totally fine with that.
Oh yeah, me too.
This is not the fucking Marvel blue balls where it's just setting stuff up for the next movie.
What I like most about this is that it feels, like you said in the beginning of this episode, it feels old school in a way, not just because of what the message behind it is, but in like what it is. We don't have movies like this anymore, where it's just a random person, main characters thing. We don't have like a whole freaking squad of people being the main characters. Even though we have more now, we still have Jake is the main character for now. He is always going to be the center somehow.
Yes, he's going to be the anchor.
Yeah, because nowadays it's all what's it called? No. There's a word for it where you have like an ensemble movie.
Yes, yeah.
It's not the word. I think that's the word.
Yeah, ensemble. You have there's not one character we follow. It's always all these characters.
Yeah, there's always groups of them, and they all have different backgrounds and different backstories that we need to like give enough time so they all have the same screen time and the same importance. Here's like no. These people are Navi. That's Jake. They merged. That's it.
Yeah, and
we know that's the story we need to know.
I think the story, unless they like kill him in like the third or fourth movie, he's always going to be like the audience's point of view.
Of course, because he's
he's going to be the anchor for the audience.
Yeah. And even if they kill him off, we already know the backstory then of whoever takes the next step and becomes the main character. Because it's probably going to be Loak.
Set these characters up, yeah.
And we know his backstory because we've seen it in the movies. We don't have to have flashbacks or prequels or something.
This is literally like creating it's world building unfolding. It's not just world building to set up a bunch of shit. It is they're literally building the world as we watch it. And
exactly.
We watch it unfold. They are creating lore. They are making legends,
As long as they don't start backtracking and making prequels and shit, this is going to be perfect. Because once they do that, they've ruined it. That's what they did with all the other movies.
Yeah,
the Marvel and the DC as well. There's too much backtracking. Like, but this new movie takes place in the past or in the future. This
actually happened before.
Yeah, and even though this character's dead, they now have their own movie. But they're dead. The timeline doesn't work.
Yeah.
This case, I hope they stick to the timeline. Just keep going forward.
They make these 5 movies, and that's it.
Oh yeah, and that too. Please don't make too many. 5 is pushing it.
Yes, it is.
3 is normally enough.
Especially since it took 13 years for the second one to come out.
Yeah.
But at least now, they're prepping. So all these, I think the next 4 movies, or I guess the next 3 movies, are coming out in like the next, I think it's like 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, probably.
So at least we don't have to wait too long. I know that the third one is planned like for 2024.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere.
So we don't have to wait another 13 years, because then they're never going to finish this. But then it's also up to James Cameron to not let go of his baby. Do not give it to the producers. Do not do it, George Lucas. Do not sell this to Disney or some other. Well, technically Disney has this. Now,
sure, but like,
Fox.
Don't let them.
Don't let them make a bunch of TV series and spin-offs and
let them do the
movies.
No, let them do the rides, because they've already done that. They've done like the...
That's fine. Merchandise, that's fine. Whatever. Fine.
Go for it. Leave the movies alone. That's his.
Make these 5 movies and then leave it alone.
Yes.
And if they keep the quality up, that will be something that will be remembered for all time, I think. This has the potential to be like the stuff of legends.
Oh yes. What's the Metascore on the first Avatar?
It's like pretty high. I think it's like 83 or even 90 or something.
Let me double check. I can't spell. Avatar. There we go. 2009. Because this one, yeah, it's an 83. This one already has a
71.
71.
Yeah.
And it's just a premiere weekend, so I mean, give some more people time to review it and watch it, and it's just gonna rise in the ranks.
I think
if
so,
this
too.
doesn't top like the top 10, because what's the top 10 nowadays?
I don't know.
I know the
Metacritic?
original. No, like on IMDb, I'm thinking, because that's like the main where people look at that stuff. I know the original is still in the top 10s.
That was TV shows. Wait, top 250. They used to have top 250 movies.
I think the original is still in that.
No,
least.
it's not. It's not.
It's been bumped.
Oh, it's way down. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I mean.
no.
Like, people didn't like it.
What the hell?
It got like, it was like a critical hit.
It's also one of the highest grossing movies, though.
Yeah, because people went and saw it, but then they realized, like, hey, we were duped. This is a dumb movie. I'm at like 90. I still don't see it. Maybe I missed it. Hold on. Yeah, it's not in the top 250.
Oh no! What? It used to be.
I don't know.
No, I think it used to be, because I mean it's an 8.3. Should be. No, wait, that's the Metascore. The IMDb score is only a 7.8.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's.
However, Way of the Water is an 8.3 at times, right now at least. But it's only got 2K ratings.
It's not in the list so far.
No,
the IMDb top 10 is pretty much unchanged. It's Shawshank Redemption.
Maybe I was thinking about the top grossing movies.
Yeah, Godfather, Dark Knight, Godfather 2, 12 Angry Men, Schindler's List, Return of the King, Pulp Fiction, Lord of the Rings, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good list.
That's a pretty good list. Well, I'm excited to see what happens. I will have to rewatch it in a better setting, I suppose, or in a better mood, not as tired. And
I'm excited to watch it again. Actually,
yeah,
because like I said, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, that might be because I was tired, but it's missing that certain something to make it like truly a masterpiece. But other than that, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's
and
fun.
I have to give it to it, because normally I shit on movies that are over 2 hours long. I didn't mind it. Honestly, I didn't mind it.
It didn't feel like 3 hours. The first time you looked at the clock, it had almost been 2 hours already. And I was like, oh shit.
No. The first time I looked was actually 1 hour.
Okay, but the first time I asked you was 2 hours.
Yes, I checked. The thing is, I checked it because I was getting tired, and that was because it was midnight. It wasn't because the movie was boring. I was just, wait, this feels like we've been watching forever. We've seen so much. Is it ending already? Yes. Kind of thing.
That's another thing.
Like, no, it's not. It just keeps going.
It is bursting at the seams with shit going on.
Oh yes, definitely.
So,
it's straight away packed with action and stuff happening, and you're like, holy shit.
At least you're getting your money's worth.
Oh yes. And,
yeah.
I mean, if a 3-hour movie can be good, then any 3-hour movie could be good. You just need to make good movies.
Yeah, well, not any a 3-hour movie made by a good filmmaker can be good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can make a good 3-hour long movie. Doesn't have to be full of, like, random fight scenes and shit.
No, yeah.
It can actually be good and still be 3 hours long if you want it.
Yeah. There's probably less fighting and punching in this than it is in a regular Marvel movie.
Oh, yes. And it also helps that this one is visually so pleasing.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you're looking at. It's so beautiful. Whenever they like swim and fight or talk even, you're just mesmerized.
It's literally breathtaking.
Oh yes, definitely. And yeah, there was a water joke in there, I know.
It takes your breath away.
Yeah, literally.
When you watch it for too long, because you can't breathe underwater.
Yeah, don't attempt to do the one where you like hold your breath for as long as the characters in the movie. You won't be able to do this one.
Because they hold their breath for like 10-15 minutes, it feels like. Yeah. Don't. Like, a minute and a half is good, then you need to breathe.
Yeah.
If you're really good, you can go for like 2.5. That's my record, 2.5. Don't push it. But anyway.
I think
we're
that's
gonna
it
wrap
for
it up
today's.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did say yesterday that we might revisit this and review it again once we've watched it again.
Yeah, in a so to speak sober state. Yes, we're gonna do that at some point.
But it'll probably take a while
be
before
next
it's
year.
before it's released.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna have to be it, really. If you're listening to this on Patreon, thank you so much for supporting us over on Patreon. You are keeping us alive. You're keeping us afloat. If you're listening to this later on the free platforms, check us out on Patreon, where you get regular exclusive episodes and you get early access to episodes like this from time to time.
Yes.
There's literally at this point hundreds of hours of exclusive stuff you can listen to if you like this podcast. So check us out. It's just $3 a month. But other than that, thanks so much for listening. Tell your friends and family, and we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
The Spoilercast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is hosted by Tobias Vedén and Rebecca Vedén. Produced and directed by Tobias Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén and Laura Kinney. Also a huge shout out to all our patrons. Laura Kinney, Mom, Dad, Mom and Mac. If you want to join our Patreon, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. With exclusive episodes, commentary tracks, and much, much more. Support independent podcasting.